Ever pause mid-binge to wonder how Elisabeth Moss became indie television's patron saint off 1,000-yard stare and trembling lip? The Handmaid's Tale's offered whispering rebellion through Gilead hell, Mad Men's Peggy Olson climbing Peggy's 1960s ad agency ladder, her sensitive everyman pining for AI girlfriend, The Invisible Man's terrified survivor gaslit by X. Top of the Lake's grieving detective, she's the pale pixie with haunted eyes and quivering voice conquering prestige drama. Fragile intensity masking steely resolve, whisper shriek register cutting dystopian silence, slight frame owning trauma physics. But Emmy fandom and indie darling status crown her television's Meryl. Every tear stain equaling soul annihilation depth. Nah, she's prestige trauma porcelain perfected, not chameleon deity. Overrated through academic scalpel and pitch black jabs. Let's vivisect this instrument. Scene tomography, range necropsies, no Gilead hood spared. Before we jump into why Elisabeth Moss gets more hype than she sometimes deserves, do me a solid, hit subscribe, tap that bell icon, and let me know in the comments which cinematic giant I should tackle next. I'm director Ammar Hejazi, and today we're unpacking Elisabeth Moss, the Handmaid's Tale martyr turned prestige chameleon, who's inescapable, but maybe shines brightest in trauma's porcelain cage. Credit where it's forensically earned, Moss's grind-forged Emmy titanium. Mad Men, 2007-2015, Peggy Olson's secretarial ascent to copy chief navigating Don Draper's 1960s ad world, anchoring Weiner's symphonic slow burn amid ham gravitas. The Handmaid's Tale, 2017, Offred, June's Gilead captivity rebellion, whispering, "Blessed be the fruit," through ritualized rape and ritualized resistance, anchoring Hulu dystopia with Emmy Gold. Her 2013 sensitive everyman pining Joaquin Phoenix's AI girlfriend Samantha, quiet ache holding Spike Jonze's futuristic loneliness. The Invisible Man, 2020, Cecilia's gaslit survivor dodging Oliver Jackson Cohen's invisible predator, anchoring Wannell's modern horror with visceral terror. Top of the Lake, 2013, grieving detective Robin Griffin probing New Zealand missing child mystery amid Jane Campion's elemental bleakness. Mid, 40S commanding $15M quotes, the kitchen mob wife pivot, ballet pedigree fueling trauma tremors, not Emmy bait fluff, survived Mad Men decade crucible, bet dystopian horror over safe network dramas, directed Handmaid episodes proving auteur steel. Toolkit deploys, haunted eyes framing repressed terror close-ups, whisper, shriek timbre painting fractured psyche, slight frame owning convulsive trauma physics. Navigated trailing spouse Shadow, Squidgy's ex, into standalone prestige orbit. But here's the surgical vivisection. Moss's instrument excels in one hyper-specialized register, fragile trauma survivor emoting through repressed tremors, prestige archetype inflated across Emmy seasons. Offred's Gilead whispers, masking rebellion spark. Peggy's ad agency repression, hiding ambition fire. Cecilia's gaslighting terror, containing survival calculus. All algorithmic variations on Mad Men template, pale face flickering haunted vulnerability, voice cracking whisper to shriek continuum, slight posture convulsing ritualized pain, semiotically brilliant as 2010's trauma artifact. Post. Number Me Too yearning for resilient fragility projected onto porcelain martyr perfection. Sustained narratological analysis reveals mechanical repetition. Same repressed survivor arc looped through series, lacking Chekhovian domestic fracture or Camusian absurd defiance. Where's Shakespearean villainy? Dostoevskian moral abyss? Moss's repertoire lacks polyphony, singular trauma porcelain note hammered across prestige universes. Darkly hilarious. Miller, Moss mistaking intensity quiver for epic gravitas, achieving tragicomedy through faith in trembling lip as thespian shortcut. Comparative poetics against prestige to mainstream alchemists exposes terminal chasm. Claire Danes transmutes Homeland's bipolar CIA operative to Fleabag's priestly repression to Romeo, plus Juliet's tragic teen, somatic polyvalence-defying archetype. Tatiana Maslany flips Orphan Black's clone multiplicity to She's Gotta Have Its Nola Darling to Trickster's mythic grit, genre tessitura mastery. Even Sarah Paulson morphs American Crime Story's Marcia Clark exhaustion to Ratchet's unhinged nurse to impeachment's Linda Tripp transformation. Moss, perpetual fragile trauma engine, prestige logic gasping comedy oxygen. Handmaid's Tale succeeds via Miller's dystopian soundscape. Yahya Abdul-Mateen's gravitational rebellion compensating limits. Mad Men survives Weiner's ensemble symphonic plotting. Strip auteur, ensemble lift. Performances register decorative archetype extension, tremulously precise, emotionally monochromatic. Vocal forensics reveals structural paucity with quantum precision. Moss's whisper shriek timbre, Constrained fragile register, weaponized, intimate offered whisper, Gilead secrets, hysterical shriek, Handmaid escapes, tremulous vulnerability, Peggy's pitch nerves. Exquisite series utility, Emmy arc perfection, prestige length, palette poverty manifests, absent operatic baritone menace, Bale Batman, comic trill absurdity, feral anchorman, guttural primal rage, pit Achilles. Larynx executes trauma pathos masterfully, but lacks microtonal shading. Every fractured beat lands identical physiognomic territory, Eyes Dart Variant 3, Lip Quiver Protector Mode. Emotionally, repertoire confines trauma survivor binary, repressed duty, sacrificial climax, tremulous recovery. Absent, animal terror, hereditary wail, paternal sacrifice, Kramer fracture, existential void, Manchester silence. Peaks weaponize archetype excess, Offred's nolit te bastards carborundorum operatic. Valleys register fragile void, fans project resilient martyr onto porcelain tabula rasa. Morbidly comic, Invisible Man functions as Offred without hood, critics mistaking quiver cadence for dramatic profundity. Cultural mechanism amplifies pathology through ironic efficiency. Post-Handmaid Emmy Supernova and Mad Men Peggy Halo, Moss weaponized trauma cage, Invisible Man horror proof, The Kitchen Mob pivot, perpetual prestige chameleon narratives framing quiver persistence as thespian universality. Fandom psychology reveals resilience addiction. Gilead thirst meets indie fealty. Underrated range, mythology compensating instrument stasis. FX limited series tease, The Veil, reads less evolution, more decorative rehabilitation post-Emmy dominance. Compare Danes' post-Homeland indie swing, Fleabag priesthood, or Maslany's genre escape, genuine archetype transcendence. Moss's comedy registers as Peggy wearing modern blouse, darkly hilarious when awards chatter praises versatility for playing 4-0-year-old trauma survivors. Range, inversely proportional to Gilead, meme virality, and Google offered strong volume. Typecasting rigor mortis post The Handmaid's Tale S5. Roles fractalize core archetype, The West Wing's idealistic aid fragility redux, Shirley Jackson's domestic horror echo. Absent expansion, Lucille Ball pratfall architecture, Streep Sophie's choice devastation, Blanchett Blue Jasmine aristocracy. Directors exploit tremulous instrument. Miller's Handmaid orchestrates dystopian ritual around Moss fulcrum. Weiner's Mad Men deploys as repression procedural cog. Moss survives via meta-awareness, Offred's self-parodying rebellion winking at martyr roots, but lacks somatic reinvention scaffolding. Academic verdict, prestige trauma, perfectionist trapped in comedy format, competent fragile survivor, inadequate for character polyphony. Ensemble dynamics expose limitations with dystopian forensics. Opposite Moss. Ham overpowers Mad Men via Don Gravitas. Abdul Mateen eclipses Handmaid through Nick Rebellion. Whitaker outshines Invisible Man via Terror counterweight. Absent dialectical tension. Streep, Hoffman doubt chess, Washington, Davis fences rupture. Moss registers tremulous fulcrum, not autonomous force. Micro behaviors absent. Involuntary blinks signaling fracture, breath catches humanizing fragility, asymmetrical grins betraying conflict. Her resolve triggers audience cathexes, ideal projection rather than soul encounter. So yeah, Moss is overrated, no flop, Handmaid martyr titan forged in Hulu's crucible. Mad Men Peggy legend to dystopian billions, workhorse surviving prestige wars, mid 40s pulling ham, Abdul Mateen orbits. Trauma instrument unmatched, quote, proof porcelain, quiver legend defying typecast. Deity sealed, laughable overreach. One note fragility, prestige logic straining comedy, surface tremors over soul depth, stack when PR, fandom deems flaws heresy. Peak offered slayer, crushing Gilead whispers. Dramatic immortal, extended Peggy without cigarette, wings untested. Cut offered whisper truth or trauma autopsy rang morbidly funny. Smash like if Moss is your Gilead forever or range cage twisted hilarious. Share with Handmaid fan ready to chant praised be back. Older vault beckons, Shutter Island pretzels, Titanic secrets, No Country Cone void, prestige nerd catnip binges eternal. Your overrated pick next, Moss rematch, Handmaid round 2, director Ammar Hejazi slicing more, question trauma hype traps, watch fragile lens unblinking, whisper back dystopian soon.